Dr. Rajati, am I audible?
Yes, doctor.
It's clear, right?
Yeah, I've unmuted the speaker also. Dr. Hemani
Yeah.
is already
Yeah,
joined.
that's okay, fine. Dr. Hemani, madam?
Yes, good morning, Dr. Matthew.
Good morning, doctor. Your voice is loud and clear. Yeah, thank
Okay,
you.
thank you so
I
much.
just wanted to test it.
Yeah, thanks, thank you.
I didn't see your name. ஏதோ ஒருத்தவங்க 064369 இருக்கு. Is it you? அப்ப இன்னும் வரல. வெயிட்டிங் வருதா?
Hello, yes, Matthew. Yeah, hello, Matthew. You muted me. What? No, I don't know. No.
Morning, Nadu. Can you hear me?
Hello. Good morning, sir.
All set? Okay.
Good morning, sir. Yes, sir. We are waiting for the participants. We'll start by sharp 11.
Okay, good.
We have around 5 more minutes, sir. Which,
Yeah, great.
Dr. Hemani, madam.
Good morning. Good morning, sir.
Yeah, he's actually a vice principal of academics.
Good morning, Mohan, sir.
Good morning, madam. First of all, I would like to thank you for accepting our invitation and joining. And,
It's an honor, sir. It's absolutely
yeah,
an honor. In fact, I
thank
had
you.
come to Salem a long time ago. It was
Okay.
quite some time back. I had come for some conferences to Salem. It's a
Okay,
pleasure, sir.
so you're now digitally present in Salem. Okay, that's good. Welcome.
Virtually. Virtually, yes, sir.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
right. Actually, okay. So you're associated with which college?
Index Institute of Dental Sciences, Indore. It's in Madhya
Okay.
Pradesh, sir.
Yeah, yeah. So I'd come for a conference in Indore to the other college, modern Dr. Vanjara's college.
Yes, yes, yes. In fact, Dr. Sangeeta Vanjari ma'am, it's a privilege.
Yeah,
Vanjari sir's wife, Dr. Sangeeta
yeah.
Vanjari ma'am, professor in Head Modern Dental College, is also
Oh,
here with us today.
oh, Matthew told me. Okay, it'll be nice to have
Yes,
them
sir.
also. Right. Yeah, we'll just wait for the participants to join
Absolutely.
before we begin.
Absolutely, sir.
Yeah.
Just a reminder, Dr. Matthew.
Yeah, tell me, doctor.
I just wanted to request screen share.
Yeah, that will be done. Yeah,
as well as annotations.
Yeah, sure.
Permission for annotations.
It's done, doctor.
Yeah. Thank you, Dr. Rajan. Thank you, Dr. Rajan.
Thank you. Welcome.
Thank you so much.
Principal sir has joined.
Good morning. I think I can't see who all are there. Yes, I've been informed that our principal has joined. Very good morning, sir.
Morning.
Good morning. This is Dr.Hemani Sukhija, who will be the speaker for today. And I would like to introduce her. This is our principal, Professor Dr. J. Babyjohn. He's professor in pedodontics, and yeah, he'll be joining us today. Shall I start the program?
Please go ahead. Please go ahead.
Good morning, sir.
Very good morning
Johnson.
to the principal, vice principals, and a faculty of VMSDC. Thank you all for joining us today. Today's webinar is on Learning Management Systems, or LMS in short. This webinar would brief on the software platforms that are currently available for teaching and training dental and postgraduate students. This method of online teaching was actually introduced in the 1990s. And as you can see with the COVID-19 pandemic, it has now re-emerged as a mainstream method of teaching. Not only teaching, but imparting knowledge and to some extent training students. So I'm sure that most of us are are aware of these applications such as Zoom and WebEx. And I believe with this webinar, we will be able to polish our teaching skills and to prepare us for this contemporary teaching practice of teaching in education system. Yeah. So before we begin, I would request our principal, Professor Dr. J. Babyjohn, sir, to share a few words. Sir. Hello. Hello. Sir.
Yeah. I'm asking anything.
Yeah. Could you share a few words, sir, before we begin the program?
Yeah. On behalf of our dental college, I first of all welcome Dr. Hemani for accepting this online lecture on online teaching. That is what LMS, Learning Management System, or whatever we call it as, which is the need of the hour. Online management system is another thing which we, especially generation of mine, are not really up to it. I'm sure that the younger generation who has grown with this are better than us. And I think this should be more beneficial for people like us and our age group. But in addition to the other younger generation, so they know about what is happening, but they should know how to use it properly. That is a need of the hour. So now I think not only during this pandemic, in future also, I think this is going to be the new norm where we have to run the institution, or for that matter, any organization will be following this management system and online only. So I'm sure this lecture will be of great use, and all will be benefited out of it. And I'm happy that you have joined us, Dr. Hemani. Welcome on behalf of VinayakaMission Dental College as well as the VinayakaMission Research Foundation University. Please go ahead. Thank you.
Thank you so much, John, sir. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Now I request our Vice Principal of Academics, Professor Dr. N. Mohan, sir, to give the welcome address. Hello, sir, could you unmute, sir?
Am I audible now?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay. Good morning, everyone. Respected principal, renowned speaker and resource person for today's webinar, Dr. Hemani Sukhija. and Professor Head of Oral Pathology, Index Institute of Health Sciences, Indore, Madhya Pradesh. And she's also the Assistant Registrar, I believe, of Malwanchal University in Indore, Madhya Pradesh. It's really a great honor to welcome you all to this webinar. I also welcome all the faculty to join today. And as we all know, this is being conducted on behalf of the Dental Education Unit of VMS Dental College. And this is going to be a very important, useful learning. And I think this is the right time to talk about and learn about online learning management systems. So I would also thank the speaker for joining us today, which is the apt time, very apt time, because like our principal mentioned, for us seniors as well as the juniors, this is all something new. So I think it is the right opportunity for the juniors to pick up on their skills and for their seniors to join them, so that we'll not miss out on this, because this is going to be the norm of education in future. And I'm sure even after this crisis is over, I'm sure online system, learning system will play a major role. So that is the reason why we thought it is going to be very useful to us. And I thank the speaker for accepting our invitation and joining us today. And I also thank the organizers, Dr. Matthew, and the coordinators, and Dr. Yuraja, for keeping everything going smoothly. Thank you. Now over to Dr. Hemani for some learning. I'm sure we're all eager to learn all the points about online management system, learning management system.
Thank you, Mohan sir. Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you, sir. Yeah, before we move on to the presentation, I would like to introduce the speaker for today. Joining us today is Dr. Hemani Sukhija. She has a postgraduate degree in the specialty of oral maxillofacial pathology from SRM Dental College, SRM University, Chennai, with over 21 years of experience in academics. Currently, she is the professor and head of oral pathology and the assistant registrar of Malwanchal University, Indore, Madhya Pradesh, as well as heading the wet coordination team for the same college institution. Apart from having several publications in national and international peer-reviewed journals, she has held several posts in college administration, which include head of academics for 4 years, head of cultural section for 4 years, as well as the head of examination section for almost 7 years. She has also served as assistant editor of the Journal of Theory for Child Academy. Personally, I have known her since my post-graduation days, and she has been a mentor right from my thesis writing to this day. She's very kind, sincere, and always ready to help and extend her hand in spite of a busy schedule. There are very few very good qualities which I've seen in her, and I've what should I say, that have influenced me and inspired me. Like, for example, her diligence, thoroughness, and aim to perfection, which I've always seen. When during my postgraduate, she's always never compromise any situation, and her never to say never attitude to any challenges that we may face. So now I request our speaker to move to the as we move to the next session. Before that, I request all the staff to mute yourselves, and you can post your questions in the chat section, which will be answered in the Q&A session at the end of the presentation. Yes, madam, you can start your presentation on behalf of VMSVC. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Matthew. That was very kind of you. You were very liberal with your kind words. I'm really honored. And I'm very glad to be associated with VinayakaMission Dental College, Salem, because I have been there once and it was a pleasure to be there. But that was a long time ago. I am very glad that I got this chance. Thank you so much. May I start sharing my screen, please? Dr. Rajati, may I start sharing my screen, madam? Rajati, madam, I cannot hear you.
Doctor, I have given the option for sharing the screen, doctor.
Thank you, madam. Annotations are also on, so I'll just get started. Can you see the screen? Dr. Matthew, can you give me a feedback? Can you see my PowerPoint slide? The
Yes,
first?
it's very clear.
Yeah.
Very clear. Yeah, I can carry. Your voice is audible and it's clear.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Now, today we're here to discuss and to just have an overview about the online learning management system, which is the need of the hour. And the point is, do we just adapt to these online solutions right now during the pandemic, or do we carry them on? That's very important for us. I'm privileged to have with us, it was very kind of Dr. Sangeeta Vanjari Madam, who was the head of Department of Oral Pathology and Oral Microbiology for 20 years in Modern Dental College, Indore. And presently she is heading the Department of Dentistry in BKL Valavalkar Medical College, Ratnagiri, Maharashtra. I've known her personally, and it's an honor, madam, to have you here with us, to participate with us. Then we also have Dr. Anuradha Sunil, madam. She is the principal of Royal Dental College, Palghat, Kerala, and she heads the Department of Oral Pathology and Oral Microbiology in the same institution. Thank you, madam, for being with us today. Now, there are a few questions which we normally have in our mind when we talk about online solutions, like Principal Sir John Sir and Mohan Sir, Vice Principal Sir, aptly said. Why should we know about these solutions and online examinations? Now, that's a question. Should we inject these online solution systems into our veins only for now? And then should we discard them after the crisis is over? Let's think about that. The next question that we'll be addressing is, should we include these online solutions with us into our very existence for now and for always? A few other questions that we'll be talking about is life with LMS versus life without LMS. Which is the best? Conventional methods, or are we talking about conventional methods, or are we looking into technology-powered teaching techniques? Then one big concern is the security of data and the security of participants. This is of prime importance to everybody, I'm sure. The main parameters that we talk about when we talk about having a class, when we talk about having a class session, is time. The participants, that is the students and the teacher, for example, need to coordinate at the same time. They need physical space. We're not talking about virtual classes here. We're talking about the regular conventional classes. We need physical space. We need a classroom, a lecture hall. And then we need the people. We need the participants here. Some of us may be anxious about online classes and online examinations. If you're not anxious about it, that's very good. But if you are, then we can remember one thing very appropriately, that technology blesses us with the undo button most of the time. That's not so much of a problem. It can be handled. Dr. Matthew, I think someone's mic is unmuted. Dr. Matthew, could you please check that?
Yeah, just hold on, doctor. I'll just inform that staff.
Sure.
Doctor, I'll check it, doctor.
Yeah, I'll just check it.
Yeah, I think it's done. Is it?
Yeah, it's done. It's done. Thank you.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you, Dr. Rajati. Thank you, Dr. Matthew.
Sorry for the inconvenience.
Absolutely not a problem. I understand. If we don't understand something, we've always been telling our students this, and I'm sure that we will remember that if we don't understand something, we should not stop, because when we continue to use the technology, we will definitely master it. And if we do understand it, even then we shouldn't stop, because Practice is very important in this. You tend to forget the applications if you don't practice them much. Teaching then and now, from verbal communication all the way to writing on sand, blackboard and chalk, whiteboard and marker, followed by that. Then we had the overhead projectors. Then we had the PowerPoint presentations and computers in teaching. I remember there were certain apprehensions when we had to shift from one system to the other. And now we are here with web conferencing. Which is the best of all these methods? I'm sure most of us agree it's a combination of all these methods that would be appropriate to use. There are a lot of articles which we can go through, and a lot of publications, a lot of text on these online systems. But for today, I'll keep it very simple and grounded. An overview of this presentation would include web browser and applications. What is this? What is the concept of these? Then we have the live video conferencing. We have recorded classes. We have a resource library. Do we have a notice board or a bulletin? Can we handle assignments online? Can examinations, now this is a big point of anxiety for people. Can we genuinely have genuine examinations online? And storage of data, security of data as well as of individuals, hand-holding process and training process, the cost that is involved in all this. Then we have white labeling that we'll be talking about, and of course, further creativity. Let's start with the web conferencing, the web browser. Now you can have these online solutions on your web browser, that is your laptop, and have it on, and that can be on the mobile as a responsive version. That is the same browser version will be seen as a responsive version on the mobile. Normally you have the tabs vertical so that you don't have to zoom in and zoom out all the time. Then you have the mobile app. Some companies also provide us with mobile apps. Video conferencing. Now what we are doing today is also web or video conferencing. What does it cater to? It caters to live online classes. You can also have official staff meetings on this. You can have parent-teacher interaction. You can have mentoring students in groups or singular. Then you can show videos or animations live while you're talking about something or trying to explain. The devices that, as we all know, we can use is the laptop or computer. You can use a large screen projector or a television monitor. You can also use your mobile for these applications. Can you use annotations? Yes, you can use annotations. You can have various methods where you can highlight things in whatever way that you wish to. You have a lot of options. You can share your screen as a whiteboard. You can share your screen as a whiteboard, and you can even write on it. You can write on it. With practice, this improves. Then you can share your PowerPoint presentation, PDF, Word file, Excel, etc., whatever you wish. Video conferencing also helps in interaction with students and participants. Notifications like hand raise options are available. Annotations are allowed to particular participants, not all or none. Now, there are certain free versions, there are certain paid versions. There are some companies which have their own platform. Live demonstration of diagrams, hands-on demos can also be given. We have tried it in our institution and it does work. You can use the reverse camera for this. Students can submit their work. One-to-one discussion with students can be done, or discussions can be done for the entire class. One student submits their work, the discussion is done, and the next student submits their work. So we can have sessions like that as well. The host or the teacher. You can have a host and a teacher. You can also have a co-host. You can have a moderator along with it, along with the teacher, to manage a large class, maybe a class of 100 or a class of 250 students or participants. Geolocation tracking is also available. Since people are working from home, the geolocation, if the tracking is turned on, it can be regularized and it can be noted by the host. Attendance is automatically input in a file, seen on a server, or downloaded as Excel file. Now, normally, if you want to make sure that, for example, in these free applications, if you want to go through the attendance, you need to take screenshots, then align them manually. That is not required in the learning management systems. Automatically, an Excel sheet is created. It can be, you can monitor this class-wise or student-wise. You can find out, for example, student called Hemani Sukhija. How many classes has she attended? You don't need to manually do it, so the computer does it for you, the software does it for you. So that makes things a little easier. This is an example of an Excel sheet which can be downloaded for attendance. If you take a look here, you don't have to do it manually. What we have done is we have created login codes. 42 is the employer number. Take a look here, please. This is the name of the teacher, Hemani Sukhija. D stands for dental, T stands for teacher. So the ID itself tells us we can create IDs where the IDs are descriptive of the participant. Then students, for example, if we take the second one here, this one here, 19002, that is the roll number of the student. It's Gauri Panda, that is the name. Dental for D and student for S. So we know that this is a dental class. Check-in time. This is the time when the student logged in, and this is when the student logged out. For example, if you take a look here, you see here, it is 0 time. If you can see that the student's check-in here on Harpreet Singh is 0. So that means, and there is no geolocation here. So this student was absent. Even if geolocation is on or off, that is immaterial. What is important is this, class hours. How much time did the student attend? So accordingly, attendance can be calculated. A common calendar can be shared by the teachers. For example, if a class is booked from 9 to 10 a.m., a common calendar on your phone. You can have your personal Google Calendar or any other calendar that you have. You can also have a common calendar among all the teachers. So every time a class hour is booked or a class hour is changed, the notification will automatically come on your calendar. This can be shared by teachers, or you can set it to be shared by teachers as well as students. There are third-party platforms which some companies use. For example, right now, like we're using Zoom, so you have WhatsApp video call. It has its own limitations. You have FaceTime, you have Skype, you have Zoom, Cisco WebEx, Google Hangout, Google Meet, BlueJeans, Big Button. These are all applications which are third-party applications. Now, companies, if you go in for companies which handle these applications, they have customized their own platform, so they're not dependent on another third party for any kind of facilities. These classes can also be recorded. There are two forms of recording basically. One is that the classes can be recorded. Now we are having a live session here. We're having a live class, for example. This class can be recorded and kept for later reference by the students or the teachers, and can be replaced also. Then classes can be recorded in a virtual classroom. For example, a classroom can be created, or at home you can put up a whiteboard, describe everything like it's a class, and the students can be updated. Then for this, of course, you'll need a whiteboard or a blackboard, you'll need microphone, you'll need the camera and lights, of course, appropriate lights. Reading and reference materials. Files can be files of like PDF, Word, PPT, videos, audio, images, all these, and links. Even links can be provided to students for reference. All these materials can be read online while you're online, or they can be downloaded for later reference also. Resource library can be created. Content management system systematically. Now, what is systematic content management? For example, if we take a subject, if we take oral pathology as a subject, so what we can do is in the oral pathology subject, we can have all the chapters marked over there. All these can be typed in and marked. And every time a teacher puts in a chapter, they can allocate it in that particular chapter. For example, 3 teachers make a PowerPoint on the same chapter. For example, they want to teach um, um, permanent mandibular molars. Now, permanent mandibular molars, there are 3 teachers. Every time a new lecture is uploaded, the students as well as the teachers get a notification. So when the student goes on the chapter, he doesn't have to randomly search for the lecture. He knows 3 teachers have put in and the description is there. So he can choose which one to go through. Then all forms of the files may be uploaded. We've already spoken about that. Offline videos on your device. You can also download these and take a look at them. You can have online videos from YouTube, etc. You can share animations. You can have recorded classes for later reference. All this has already been discussed. This forms your resource library. You can have a notice board or bulletin. This can be integrated with your website also. Your website vendor, and if it's the same person, that's fine. If not, this can also be integrated so that every time any change occurs or any notification has to be given, you don't have to manually do it. Your staff is not engaged in that. It can be sent through SMS, it can be sent through WhatsApp, it can be sent through email or the LMS app, whatever you're using. Notices can be displayed with regard to change, cancellation, or exchange of class or sessions, and assignments and examinations. You don't have to inform the students in the class also. The assignment is put, the assignment is allocated, the notification automatically goes to the students. You can set a time limit for the assignments to be submitted, or you can have it at their convenience. Then notifications can also be set in such a way they can be automated, that it goes to the management, the administrative staff, the teachers. Management can also send some notifications to the teachers, students, as well as parents. So assignments. When we talk about assignments, you can have self-assessment type of assignments, or they can be assessed by the teacher. Then they can be self-monitored or they can be teacher monitored. They can be done live while the video conferencing is going on. The assignments can be done live, or they can be done offline and then submitted. The teacher may go through the assignments later also. Now we come to examinations. In examinations, the entrance exams can also be conducted. A lot of courses are conducting entrance examinations. Of course, we have a different system in dentistry. Then you can have class tests, you can have internal examinations, you can have remedial examinations as well for selected students. Remedial examinations need not be for the entire class. Then you have university examinations, which are also being spoken about. For this efficient proctoring and invigilation, we will be talking about that as well. Now, what are the forms of examinations which can be conducted? We are all aware of the examinations which we conduct normally. We can have different types of questions, but can they be put into the online system? And can they be as foolproof as possible? The invigilation, can it be so vigilant? Now, we can have MCQs with radio tag buttons. That is, a question appears, you tag it, and then submit it. The question doesn't appear again. You can have that option. Or what you can do is, you can have all the questions. The student can go back to the question and revise the answer. You can set it as you want. It is not, it doesn't mean that only one system has to be followed. For every test, you can have a different system and try out these versions. You can also have one-word questions and one-word answers. You can have a quiz. You can have match the following as well, again with radio tags, so that's easy. Short note questions is possible. Long questions also has come into play. Now the answers that are descriptive can be typed by the student, or another method is they can have an answer sheet. They can write it all down in the limited time and then scan it with their device and submit it. Viva voce can be handled on the online solutions. Now comes the important part for practical examinations, because completely practical examinations cannot be handled on an online system. This is a fact as far as the situation presently goes. But spotters like slides, models, materials, instruments, etc., pictures and videos of these can be uploaded and the student can answer the question. Now the next thing that would come to our mind is, Suppose we have 20 MCQs, all the 20 MCQs. Can the student not do any cheating? Can they not have any unfair means? Well, they can try, but then we have a solution to it. The answer is randomization of questions. For example, if we have to give 20 questions, 20 MCQs, the teachers would set probably about a bank of 100 or 150 questions. For example, if you have five teaching faculty in a department, each teacher can set about 20 questions, and that comes to about a huge number. Every student, for example, if there are 20 questions for 20 minutes, randomization is done, every student gets a different set of questions. And the questions are not repeated. So the question comes, appears for 1 minute, and then it goes off. Or the entire set of questions come, but every student gets a different set. The answer key is already submitted by the teacher earlier in the LMS. Automatically, the valuation and correction is done and the marks are uploaded. So there is no time for the student to find out, because if there are 100 students in a class, every student getting a different set of 20 questions. So to quite an extent, after 20 minutes, they will not have time. So they will not be able to, they will not get the time, or they will not even know which question goes to which student. Then a time limit can be set, which I have already mentioned. All questions may appear one by one, or they may appear together. Permission to go back to a previous question, may or may not be granted. So both the choices are there with the teachers. Invigilation and proctoring. Artificial intelligence is coming into play. You must have noticed that when we search something in Google, it gives us a lot of options. The moment I enter one word, I get a lot of options along with it. How does the software detect that? That is artificial intelligence. Face recognition. For example, I am sitting here. My face recognition is done. And if someone else tries to sit here, and if the video is off for a while, then a notification goes to the invigilator, as well as, because when you're monitoring 20 students, for example, there are 100 students and you allocate 4 invigilators to this class for the exam, 25 students will be monitored by one invigilator or one proctor. In this case, it is not possible for the it's a little difficult for the teacher or the proctor to monitor all the students at the same time. Every time the software detects that every time the student takes their head off like this, it gives a notification. That means probably trying to look somewhere. Then another way is it detects objects around it. It detects other devices around it. That also is being worked on. Voice recognition. Voice recognition is also a facility which is being provided by companies. Auto recording is done randomly of the examinee. Here we are. Now, in this point, auto recording done of the examinee. Certain parts, the student also doesn't get to know, the invigilator doesn't get to know, but right in the middle, somewhere, randomly, there are 5 seconds, 10 seconds recordings done. Some companies also have the entire recording done, but it's not possible for us to sit and see 3 hours of it. So randomly, pictures and videos are captured, and they can be these can be also taken a look at later or during the exam by the invigilator. Auto pics are also taken of examinees. Now, notification comes to the examinee, to the invigilator, I'm sorry, when the examinee switches on a device or switches off a device near the device which is managing the examination. All other browsers can be blocked before the examination. They have to enter, this will be informed, and it can be checked whether every participant has blocked all other browser. In the sense, only the application, only the LMS will run. That cannot, if that is minimized and some other browser is tried, or any other file is tried, if you try to open it on your laptop or computer or mobile, it detects it and it is blocked. The child cannot open anything else. Valuation of answer scripts. Now here we have the manual methods, in the sense some universities are already using it. The answer copies are scanned and submitted. A notification goes to the examiners who are in the examiners panel, invited. Now over there, the scanned answer copy appears on their screen, and they log in. The examiner logs in, does the valuation, does the checking, and submits the marks. The marks are tabulated in the sense that if it is question number 3A, you have the marks obtained column, and out of, suppose the question is out of 5 marks, it's very clear over there, you cannot give more than 5 marks. You can give 3.5, you can give 4.7, you can give what you like, but the moment you by mistake cross 5, it will not take it. So you will have, it will be very easy for you to remember. And every time, suppose question number 3A appears, there will be the question will also appear. So that's a help for the examiner. A lot of universities are already doing it. Now this is done by the universities. The students go for the examination in the regular way, give the examination on paper, and then finally it is uploaded, scanned and uploaded by the university. The same thing can be done by the student in online examinations. They write on the paper, there is a limited time, they have to scan it by then and upload it on the examination platform, and then it goes to the examiners and they evaluate it. Remuneration to the examiners now through payment gateway, which can be linked directly. If you can do it manually, or you can do it through the automated system. Now over here in the automated system, you have choices. You can also set the time. Suppose all the bank details of the examiners are already put in by the examiner, and finally what happens is they suppose the examination has on 21st of June was the last examination. We can set the date of payment to the examiners after the result is declared, or after the revaluation is declared, or it can be done manually by the accounts and finance department. MCQs can be checked by the software, so we do not need to spend our time checking MCQs, because the answer key is done, it is tallied, so time and energy of the teacher is saved for other work. Storage of data. Excuse me. Storage of data. Now we can have two forms of storage of data: the recorded classes, the live classes, whatever, resource library, the list of notifications that have gone. Now cloud server, we're all aware, we all have cloud drives. Now cloud server, and whenever we want some data, we can download it, and it cannot be downloaded by people outside the platform. That is, only people who have the ID, the user ID, only they can download the material. So single file required, and time to time the university or the institution can take a full backup of it as well. Full backup of the system can be taken. The hardware. Now over here, some people would say that they do not want to store in the cloud, they want to store it in the hardware. What happens here? There is additional cost of the hardware equipments. That is why the cloud is easier to handle. And physical space to keep the hardware. We need staff to manage and hand-holding system 24/7, because if there is a problem, if the server is down, it has to be handled. And if we go for the cloud server, all that headache is handled by others. Security of data. Now we have security of data and security of participants. There's a lot been going on in the newspapers regarding security of participants and hackers. What is done is, we do not log in with our email IDs. We log in with the particular username IDs, which is provided by the company, and this is, the IDs are set. The IDs are designed by the university or the institution. For example, I had given an example in the beginning. 42, for example, 042 is my employee number. Then comes Hemani Sukhija. Then comes D and T, that is dental teacher. Similarly for students, roll number 5 will come first, and then for example, if there is a student called Richa Singh, and then you have D, D stands for dental, and S stands for students. M stands for medical, N stands for nursing. So you can customize the ID, and the student or the participant or the teacher or the staff or administrative official can log in with the particular username and ID. So you're not logging in with your email ID, so there's a sense of security over there. Of course, you can change your password time to time, and when you don't change your password for a long time, the software automatically gives you a notification that would you like to change your password. The hand holding procedure and the training procedure. Now over here, the LMS companies, there are various companies which provide these solutions, and an MOU or an agreement is signed between the university or the institution and the LMS company. And what they help us with is the troubleshooting 24/7. They give you 24/7 troubleshooting solutions. Then they may also, there are certain companies which are on a salary basis. They provide their own one or two their own employees to your institution who will sit in your institution 9 to 5 like other officials. And all you need to do is you don't need to even upload the for example, I have a lecture, I've recorded the lecture, I have to upload it, spend time on it. Not needed. You can have your own official do that, you can do it yourself, or you can have the employee which is provided by the LMS company. They are trained for it. You give them the file in a pen drive or in an email, and they will do the job for you, and you will get a notification. So a lot of time is saved with just one additional employee which is provided by the LMS company. Also, the companies give unofficial, then self-aimless struggle is avoided. For example, when we started off with these online solutions, we were struggling with Zoom, with WebEx. How do we switch on the mic? How do we save this? How do we give these notifications? How do we end up writing on it? And we can use a simple solution like a pen tablet. I'm using a pen tablet here. You have smaller ones as well. You can take a look at this. This is a slightly bigger one that I'm using. You can write on this, and I'm not using my mouse at all. I'm using this pen tablet for everything, for changing the slides. It's very easy, and you can master it as you keep writing with it. Then, time wastage is avoided. Now, time wastage is avoided because you get an official who handles it. You do not need to look in for space, a physical space for a class, and better utilized for other things appropriately. The cost implications are there are one-time initial costs. There is one-time initial cost investment, which may or may not be there. Some companies tell you to invest for the installation, and then there are recurring costs. But some companies do not have any installation costs. They have an agreement, and then they go on recurring and running cost, which may be monthly. For example, per student, they fix a cost of monthly amount which has to be paid. It could be per hour per participant. That could be very beneficial because sometimes you may not, during examination time, you may not have too many classes online. You may have a few revision classes. There are companies which give a student, which give the option of 2 rupees. I have done the groundwork myself. 2 rupees per hour per student, all the way to 15 rupees per hour per student. And the company is giving, frankly, 2 rupees per hour per student. They have been into this business for 15 to 20 years, as far as I have tried to find out. So that can be done. So there is a prepaid wallet which is created. We can see a prepaid wallet which is created. For example, if you buy 50,000 hours, and then the students or the participants use it up, the officials use it up, and it starts going down like a prepaid wallet, like your mobile prepaid wallet. It can be also done channel wise. For example, channels are created. First year BDS, DAOH, Dental Anatomy, Embryology, and Oral Histology. That is one channel, like you have television channels. So one channel that is created is Dental Anatomy and Oral Histology, one channel with the teachers. So the teacher logs in, all the students log in, that will be considered as one channel. So they have costs per month per channel. That availability is also there. So that can be evaluated which one helps us. Now, in the per hour per participant option, you also have the examination option. You don't have to pay for the examinations throughout. When you have the examination, the number of, suppose out of 90 students, 85 participated in an examination. You only have to pay for that. You don't have to pay for the entire students, like the entire 100 students. Only the students who have given the examination, that will be paid for. White labeling. We've heard a lot about white labeling, but exactly what is it? White labeling is like you have a website. There is a vendor doing it. For example, if we take a company called Infotech, uh, Offbeat Infotech company, they design a website, but the name that appears, the website belongs to the institution. So that is white labeling. Somebody makes it for you, but you own the website, you own the LMS. In fact, there are certain companies, I would not like to name them. We can talk about it later. I'll put my phone number over there, one-to-one, that can be spoken about. There are certain companies which have their name, their logo, and their name. It belongs to them. You're just taking it, using it. But some companies do the white labeling, which help you. Your university logo, your college logo, the name of the college appears over there, and it is completely customized for you. You can have certain things. You can have the designing different. You can have the facilities different, and you can change them time to time. So you don't have to be worried about whether if some system is going on right now, whether we can change it or not. Yes, you can change it. You can change it at any point of time. You can have a meeting and change it and pass the orders. So that is called white labeling. What I'd like to say here is, I've kept it short and sweet for you. Uh, Creativity enhances technology. Now, whatever we try to do, for example, I tried to give demos of diagrams. I tried to give demos of diagrams on the platform. I used my reverse camera. I fixed it at a certain point, right from my mobile. I did not even use my laptop. On my mobile, I fixed it at a height, kept it on a book, and I drew the diagram. I actually drew the diagram. I told the students how to draw the diagrams. We can use different color options here. The nucleus is towards the basement membrane. So all that can be creatively done either on this platform. It can also be done on pen and paper using reverse camera. That is also an option. What lies ahead on the road? We have certain inhibitions about online classes, whether we should carry them on right now and later. After the crisis is over, my personal opinion, I mean, we could differ in that, but my personal opinion is that once we get used to a system of online classes, we should not give it up, because we can have our regular classes in the classrooms the way the apex bodies and the statutory bodies recommend it, but we can also go ahead with webinars which are now announced by the Dental Council of India also recently, that they would like to endorse webinars. Webinars have been going on for a long time, but now they are coming into play a lot due to the pandemic crisis. But after we finish, suppose an institution has 4 lecture halls or maybe even 7 lecture halls. There are postgraduate students, there are interns for training, there are officials. We can have revision classes. For example, if we have a supplementary hour in the timetable, we have already inculcated it 7 years ago in my institution. We have a supplementary hour. Maybe for first years, we have it twice a week. So in this supplementary hour, any teacher can book it and take a revision class of the chapter or take a doubts session, because sometimes it may not be possible. The teachers can also do it in the evening, but it may not be possible. So during class times, for example, you have a class time of, let's say, 8 a.m. to 4 a.m. During the 1 week, you have 2 supplementary hours apart from the lunch break. Lunch break can be kept free. And the timetable can be very appropriately handled. We have tried it. It has worked. It also justifies the DCI regulations as to number of hours. Now, for example, I was also telling you about the cost. For example, in the lectures, in the lectures that the number of hours that Dental Council of India recommends. Right now, I think we have 1,590 hours allocated for the entire course of BDS. If you multiply it by, by 5, you get something like about approximately 7,000 to 6,000 to 7,000 rupees per student for the entire course. It's really worth it. But if we take a look, 1,590 hours is the entire course. Anyway, we're not going to be taking all these hours online. We're going to be taking a lot of these classes in the physical presence of the teachers and the students. So a few, the number of hours that reduce, the cost also reduces. So it is not as it appears that it will be very costly. It won't be very costly because you can use it as per your requirement. Now, which are the other institutions and which are already on the road to examinations on the learning management system and examinations, online examinations platforms? National Institute of Industrial Engineering, Mumbai, NITI, is a very well-known institution. This year, they have successfully completed their descriptive examinations online. Descriptive examinations were not attempted much earlier, but this year, yes, this has worked. Then BITS Pilani, Birla Institute of Technology and Science has tried it. IIT Bhubaneswar, IIM Ranchi, JNU Jawaharlal Nehru University Delhi, SRM University Chennai, all these universities have gone through their examinations they've done. Of course, when you buy it for the first time, we can also in the university have a mock drill before we really conduct the examinations. Like in post graduation, we usually have a mock examination. Similarly, for the BDS students also, we can have a mock examination and see how it works, and improvements can be done. What is the take home note? Now we can use a combination method for it. We can have conventional teaching methods, we can have verbal, we can have demonstration on papers with reverse cameras. We can also have online, the way I used my writing board, I can try and write on it. I can explain things online using a pen tablet. And we can share the PowerPoint, which we're already doing. All of us are aware of it. Even after the lockdown unlocks, new good habits gathered should be retained and continued because it takes some time to kind of get used to an online system. And if we stay away from it, we'll have a little difficulty adapting to the system again. So in my opinion, and I'm sure a lot of you agree with me, once we get through this difficult phase of lockdown, we can have our regular classes and also have online revisions, have repeated classes, have students volunteer. In fact, seminars can be taken. Students can take the seminar, and the teachers can assess them online also. Physical presence, regular classes, we can have revisions. Online classes, at least revisions, should be continued to keep this habit going. I'd like to thank VinayakaMission's Sankaracharyar Dental College, VinayakaMission's Research Foundation, Salem, Tamil Nadu. I'd like to thank all the organizers of this webinar. I'd like to especially express my gratitude to John Sir, Principal Sir, for having me on this webinar, and Mohan Sir, Vice Principal Sir, Academics, for being kind enough to allow me to present my opinion on this topic. The audience especially, thank you for a patient hearing. I hope I kept it simple and grounded, and as we work on it, initially even I found it a little difficult, but I don't think there is much to worry, because as you work on it, and if you adapt to the hand holding system, you can have hand holding from the people of the company online, or you can have their official right there to help you. So trust me, it's not very difficult. I'd like to express my gratitude. My parents are not listening to me right now, but yes, my parents, my teachers. A lot of us forget that we always thank our BDS college and our MDS college. We forget our school. I think the basics came from school. So I'd especially like to thank. They don't know, but I'm expressing my gratitude to Sapphire High School, Bangalore, where I did my schooling, my BDS institution, Babuji Dental College, Davangere, and my PG institution, SRM Dental College, Chennai, and my workplace for giving me the opportunities and the arena to work. They've always been open to giving us new opportunities. Thank you so much, and I hope I did justice to whatever I attempted.
Dr. Hemani, this is Principal speaking. It was can you hear me?
Yeah. Yes, sir, I can hear you, sir.
Yeah. It's a really useful, wonderful lecture because we are also in the process of learning management system introduction. But we are facing some of the hurdles like, most of these people, the software people doesn't understand our needs. They are more tuned to the technical sides than to our medical or dental side. So that is a challenge we are facing. And of course, our academic team, Vice Principal and Dr. Maya and others are really working on to this software person. But some to the first year, we wanted to take it till the final year and so on in a phased manner. But then we find it a lot of hurdles with making them understand what we need. Sometimes it's not opening in the cell phone because most of the students prefer to use a cell phone. Some of them have laptops. So these are some of the hurdles we are facing. I think you gave a very broad picture of what all is available. That is a news for me actually. I didn't know it. So many platforms are there. You were telling about that hourly wise or channel wise and all this. All these things just hearing. And I think we got a brief idea as to how to go about talking to these people also. So I'm sure that we will be constantly in touch with you and troubling you to know some ideas from you as to how to go about with these technology people, because we sometimes face many difficulties. Especially the team was Dr. Maya and Dr. Kumar and a few staffs who are looking into this. Touch with you with get along so that you can help us to overcome all the problems, because they are really facing tough time for the last 6 months. I would say that still it is not through.
I understand. But sir, very frankly speaking, when I spoke to them, and I went through some mock sessions also with them. I took a demo. I spent almost because I'm the assistant registrar of my university. We're also in the process of getting these systems, and I spent almost 1.5 hours, 9 a.m. to 9 p.m. taking demos from almost 15 companies. Sorry, 15 companies, and my vision really broadened because I was very apprehensive as a teacher whether we can conduct practical examinations, spotters very safely. So we tried it. I took photographs of slides because for BDS, we always have a fixed field. We have spotters. So what I did is I took these pictures. We uploaded about 40 of them, and 8 slides, one model. We had a video, a 3 second or 4 second video, which can keep repeating. It keeps looping. It goes around. The cast goes around. We did that, and then we uploaded these. And randomly, some students were kind enough to participate in this mock drill with us, and they had limited time. They had 3 minutes to draw the diagrams, and finally they quickly scanned it and sent it. It really worked, and we realized some of them could not answer certain questions because randomization was done. So out of 45, they got 50, and everybody got a different combination, and everybody was doing it at the same time. So nobody really had time to look around anything. By the time they tried to find, it really worked, sir. We had these mock drills. I was very apprehensive as a teacher,
Yes. So Dr. Matthew, please go ahead.
Thank you, Dr. Hemani. Yeah, I think it was a very short session and a very brief and concise session that you were able to, fill us a lot of details. Actually, a very lot of details. I'm actually fortunate to be born in this, last era now. With the way you said about Proctor and, how the students are being evaluated during examination, I don't think I could move my eyes with the facial recognition, artificial intelligence. Anyway, thank you. Now we'll move on to the question answer session. There are a few questions. I hope, Dr. Hemani, do you see the questions? Are you able to see the questions?
No, I still have my slide. Should I stop my slide share?
Yeah, you can stop your slide share.
Yes, I have stopped my slide share.
Yeah, you can see the questions. Mohan sir asked, Dr. N. Mohan Vice Principal Academic. She has asked a question. So, what is your experience with online exams?
Yes, with online examinations, Mohan sir, very frankly, as I mentioned, we had a mock drill. We had two mock drills with companies. They offered us, they even offer you free solutions. You know, they give you 10 days to use their management system, learning management system, and the examination system. Now, certain companies, like Mohan sir has also said, what is your opinion about Google Classroom as a learning management system? Now they offer Google Classroom offers online classes. They offer recorded classes which goes to the Google Drive. They offer a common Google Calendar. That is true. They offer assignments and MCQs assignments and one word answers, but they do not offer examination systems and they do not offer proctoring. And one thing is, if you're planning to take only learning management system, then you can take it from Google Classroom or any other company which you feel appropriate after taking demos. If you're planning to take examinations and later on, if you're planning to take, maybe you're not planning to take examinations online right now, you may plan it later. But my sincere suggestion would be that we should go in for a company which offers classes, that is learning management system as well as examinations, because both can be linked. For example, if the attendance is recorded on it and 75, and we also, what we can do is the manual classes, the attendance can also be uploaded, so the software itself can be designed. And when I asked the IT companies, I asked them, can we do this? They said, madam, there is nothing that we can't do in IT. You explain it to us and we'll do it. I made them create certain things, frankly, certain companies. And what they do is, now Google Classroom doesn't do white labeling, so your label doesn't appear, it's Google Classroom. Whereas certain companies completely white label it, that is your logo, your name will appear. And when you're giving the examination, that becomes authenticated. Plus, if you're taking learning management system now, if you're buying it now, and you want to link it with your examination systems, like the basic criteria of attendance, automatically, manually, you don't have to waste time doing it. The, like I mentioned, the Excel sheet, it can be done student wise. Automatically, at any point of time, you can just download that sheet, see which student has how much attendance, and allow them. That can be done manually or it can be automated. The software can be designed that any student having above 75% examinations will be allowed for the 75% attendance in classes. That is including your online attendance as well as your physical presence attendance. Instead of uploading it on your manual registers, which we usually do, we can have an Excel sheet in the department. Every department is given the username and ID. Teacher is given the username ID, and the department is also given a username ID. And they are, suppose I take a class, I upload it there and I submit it there. It goes and gets added to the online management, online learning system. So at the end of, for example, after the final internal examination, when we are planning the hall tickets, you get a list of students and it's highlighted which are the students who have above 75% attendance in my this thing. And I don't have to manually do it. It gives me a list finally, which is above 75% attendance. So the learning management system as well as the examination systems, if you take it from the same company, if you're not taking it now, but always I would suggest, like we are planning it also, but I would suggest that we go in for a company for learning management system which has the potential to offer us examinations also. Sir,
Actually,
I
if I can
hope.
just add, yeah,
Yes,
it
sir.
was very clear. And we can actually take a good suggestion to combine the learning management system and the examination system from one company, so that it will be very useful and it will be very
Yes,
coordinated.
yes.
Right now, we are trying our internal exams on Google Classrooms, and we are quite happy with that. We are using it to maximum. But of course, we cannot whiteboard it like you said. Plus, the LMS system, what we are trying to introduce, has already been introduced into our first year, has some glitches. And if probably we can also convey to the university, if it can be combined with the examination system, it is definitely much more. That's a very valuable suggestion you've given. Should be very well taken. Thank you for that.
Thank you, sir. So just one note I would like to put in, I would humbly like to submit. Uh, for example, I'm not for or against any company. In fact, we can talk about that after the webinar. I could make some suggestions because I've taken demos from 15 companies. I could make some suggestions onto certain companies which are giving very, it's not expensive at all if you look at it for the whole year. And they do automatic recording of, for example, this entire webinar. Let's say it extended for 2 hours. it does random recording. A lot of your work is actually listened. It takes random pictures of what the student is doing. Plus it also automatically, you can set it 3 warnings and they have to leave the examination. Like there are certain times we take away the answer book that we've given you 2 warnings, you're not following the disciplinary rules, so we will take away the answer copies. That also can be automatically done, or the invigilator can take the right in his hands. He can do that. And plus you don't have to be so worried that you missed out seeing which student is doing what. The system is recording it. So if there are random shots, there are random small 3 10 seconds videos. Also there is a full video of everything. It is stored in the cloud. You don't have to worry. If you felt a student was trying to do some kind of unfair means, you can always go back to the entire video of that one particular student and take a look what the student was trying to do. Device detection is another thing. Browser blockage is very good, sir. And randomization questions will really help you. Whereas Google Classroom doesn't provide that randomization. It's a very good system. I'm very, I personally am very comfortable with Google's and Gmails and all the facilities they give. But they have clearly and very honestly told me when I took the demo from them, I took it directly from the Google people. They very clearly told me that we offer assignments, but we cannot give foolproof examinations. So sometimes if we take examinations on such systems, I am not very sure whether the statutory body will really honor the result. So if we take certain examination, I can suggest certain companies later, sir. We can have a word with it, and you can take a demo from them. They also give you certain free classes, so you can try it. I mean, instead of having it with students, you can have one teacher, a mock teacher, and some mock students. You can try and give an examination. Those people can answer questions, just general answers like, is the sky yellow? Yes, no, simple as that. Nothing to test their knowledge as such. My room, the size of my room could be 10 feet by 10 feet. The next choice is 10 millimeters by 10 millimeters. Very simple things. But random questions can be given, and a few tough questions can be put, and you can evaluate whether they got a chance to cheat. And in fact, I suggest that the teachers participating in this examination, mock examination, should try to cheat. I mean, try it out. See if you can beat it. My father used to always say, if you want to catch a thief, you have to think like a thief. So try that. I think that should work, because we tried it. We tried it. I was one of the students who tried a lot to cheat. I've never cheated my entire life. I was a very scared student. Dr. Matthew knows that. But I took the liberty of trying this and I got caught. I was very happy that the system caught me.
Good. We'll try that. Definitely we'll give it a try. We'll try the various systems.
Thank you, sir. Thank you for your question, sir.
Yeah, next question is, apart from examination, can we apply LMS for postgraduate students, particularly for clinical specialty?
That's a very good question, Dr. Matthew. Thank you. For clinical specialties, we can have demos, definitely. We can have demos, recorded demos. I've tried it in the preclinical part. But regarding the clinical specialties, demos can be handled, definitely. Intraoral camera, I've spoken to a few companies whether intraoral cameras can be integrated with the software, and they said they'll work on it. They never said no. They said it is possible, because if cameras can be integrated, then definitely intraoral cameras as well can be. The RVG can be integrated with it. So those kind of training sessions can also be given. But of course, there are certain limitations in the clinical work. Yes, in fields like oral pathology, oral medicine, it is more thinkable. But the clinical fields, they will have to go ahead, but they've not said no. Yes, sir. You were saying something, sir.
Hello, doctor, you can carry on back to you.
Yes. I'm through. Thank you.
Yeah, okay. So there are restrictions when it comes to clinical
There are
fields.
restrictions,
Next
but they are
question.
not. There are
Dr.
restrictions, but what is nice is they are not. When I said that, I don't think you'll be able to do it. I told the companies this, and the answer they told me is, Madam, 20 years ago, even this much was not thinkable, but we did it. So give us the challenge. And some companies are not so enthusiastic, but I'm telling you, some companies are so enthusiastic about it. They very clearly give me a feedback. They conduct an examination because they want to sell their product. They give me a feedback. I spoke to that university without telling them, and they told me how it worked. Then we took a demo of it. And in fact, what I'm trying now is to connect the microscope directly to the laptop, which is possible. We all know that. And that can be connected to the system, to the LMS. That can be done even for it. A video can go on and it can be controlled by the participant. So I'm trying that right now. We're trying it. Let's see. I hope it works.
Thank you.
Yes.
Next question is from Dr. Diana. Ma'am, can you tell us on which platform you had conducted your practical exams? Practicals.
Practical exams. See,
No,
frankly
not
speaking.
practical exams, practicals. Sorry, practicals.
So they're talking about practical exams or practical sessions?
I think practical sessions. Yes. Dr. Diana, you want to add anything?
You want to add something?
Yes, sir. Practical sessions and exams, ma'am.
Practical sessions and exams. Ma'am, you could probably, give me a number, and you could take my number, because I would not like to endorse any company. But I can give you my personal opinion. I can give you the contact details as well. I have taken demos of 14 companies, as I mentioned. I can give you the name, the contact number, all of them, and I can suggest to you which ones I liked, frankly speaking. But on a webinar, it would be a little unethical to course this. But please feel free to call me. I'll be more than glad to help you out, starting.
Thank you, ma'am.
Absolutely.
Thank you so much.
Which institution are you from, ma'am?
Ma'am, here, VinayakaMission, Oral Pathology Department.
Okay. Good to see you, ma'am. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Same here.
Next question, again from the same department, Dr. Hemani Ramesh. Do you prefer designing the app, or I think using a pre-ready apps for companies, ma'am?
My preference would be customizing it, very frankly. My preference would be taking what they have and then building on it. Because building on it according to what I feel is a good teaching technique will really help us and lessen our burden later on. If we take a little trouble designing it right now, then we don't have to accommodate to it. The company starts understanding our needs and they design it for us, and they're all ready to do it. I made them do some changes for us, in the demos, and they got back to me within a week. Madam, take a look, we've done this. So I would prefer personally customizing the apps. And for example, certain companies are, they give us they give us certain facilities, and they say, now this is what we have. You can take a combination of it. You can pay for that. You can take all of it. It's all or none. It's not all or none phenomenon. You can pick up. But they said, this is what we have and this is what you have to take. But there were certain companies, they said, madam, you tell us this is what we have. This is what we have created. You tell us what you want, we'll do it for you. And I made them do it for me, and they were successful in doing certain things.
So can we go back to them and recustomize or change the?
Absolutely. They
will
have. Yes,
do
sir.
we have additional costs, or will
some companies, frankly speaking, some companies take an additional cost. Like for 1 year, it's free. 1 year, the initial payment that you do, it's 1 year. Then every year the contract is renewed. Some companies have a renewal of 3 years, and some companies have it work based. For example, for the first 6 months, whatever you customize is included in the cost. After that, if you like, for example, in the website, let's say you spend something approximately 50,000 in designing your basic website, just the basic website. Then your website vendor charges you hour wise. Suppose you put up a notice and you've done some changes, you put some photographs, you updated events, then they charge you. For example, it took them 3 hours, so it's like, for example, so many rupees per hour. So that can be done. Some companies have an annual AMC, annual maintenance contract, like we have for our instruments. So what they do is they charge you, and you can get as many changes as you want, keeping the basic structure, of course. Not that totally you eliminate something. You give them the basic structure, and then you keep improvising on it from time to time. All the options are available.
Okay, suppose if we ask a particular company to customize an app, and then we stop or we end the contract, we're not happy maybe with the cost price and so on, and we shift to another company.
Yes, sir.
So what are the challenges over there then?
The challenges there are that it should be written in your MOU, because I asked them, in case we end the contract, with a company, then all our data, that is why I mentioned security of data. Please keep taking backup of all your data, because you've uploaded so many classes. Keep a good number of hard drives which can do the job. You can buy your own cloud as well. That becomes your, for example, there are certain clouds, like which are used in the system. Amazon, AWS is used, then Microsoft Azure, DigitalOcean, Globe-host. What you can do is you can have the company design it, but you can own the cloud space. You don't buy it from them. So even if the contract ends with that company, that entire cloud space is with you. Your data is with you. So your data is completely secure. You're not happy with the company, you end the contract, you shift to another company and integrate the data with them. That is absolutely possible. You can have the AWS, the Amazon, or the Microsoft Azure through the company, or you can have it. They gave me that option also. They said, if you're apprehensive about the data, madam, please don't worry. We give you the option of owning the cloud. Like my Gmail, I own that 15 GB space.
So do we have to restart from the beginning again with the new company?
According to the new platform, but your data is there. So all your recorded classes, you don't have to sit and upload it again. It just has to be integrated, and their official will help you do it. Either you can do it or you can employ. I'm telling you a very basic cost. Frankly, some companies gave me the option of if they wanted one particular person allocated to them. I send them the recording. I tell them what to do. They do it for me. I don't have to do anything. I just teach and have them do it. They asked me, they said every month our university has to pay that person. He will be off-site, he will not be on-site. 25,000 rupees. It's a very nominal cost for handling the entire institution or the entire thing. It's really worth it. Otherwise, if we were ready to pay 35,000 with accommodation, they were ready to send a person right to Indore in our institution, in campus. We were ready to give that person an accommodation, and that person gets 35,000 rupees and everything 9 to 4, 8 to 4, whatever our college timing is. They sit with us, they do everything, and you don't have to physically go to them also. I send the mail to them, and I can do it directly on the LMS. It can be put on the LMS and they will integrate it. A notification goes to that person and they will do it. Then a notification comes back to you to please check whether the recording has been put in the right place, in the right chapter, or wherever we want it.
So basically, learning objectives, handouts, all that will be done by them. All we have to do is hand over those.
Hand it over to them and guide them where to put it, because they would not know dentistry.
Okay.
So guide them where to put it. And links can be put to save space. If you want to save space, suppose there's a good you like a video onto development, a quick 2-minute video. Why download it and put it onto your thing, onto your cloud? Why waste your space? Just put the link and give it a description of 2 lines. The student knows that the student clicks on it and goes directly to YouTube, sees it and comes back to your LMS. So you save a lot of space, because YouTube has a lot of good material to take a look at.
Will they manage our NAC formats and all? Will they do?
Yes, it can be integrated. Yes.
Okay.
You have to pay them extra, of course. You have to pay them extra, but there are no free lunches in life, so you have to pay them extra. But they are ready to, look at, because I spoke about accreditation with them, and they were absolutely open. Some were hesitant. They said, no, we're not sure whether we can handle it. But there were certain companies with 20 years of experience who were really ready to do it, and I made them do a few things here and there. I made them do the integration here and there. We can even hide certain things, like we want to display it right now. Then after some time, we don't want to display it. What we have 2 choices. Either we remove it, we download it and remove it permanently, or we can hide it so it doesn't show, because maybe we will want to show it up later. So you get to hide it and show it up later. So that option is also there. That's convenient. You just have to give them an order. You had uploaded that document, we had hidden it, just let it go. Let it shoot on air.
I think our staff or examination section is there. Any staff willing to ask any question? Is there any staff?
Doctor, I put up a question, doctor.
Ma'am,
I have a doubt.
Yes,
we are using an LMS app, but there is difference between the app when we are using it in our mobile. They say that when you're uploading your teaching content or other details, you have to use only your laptop. It cannot be done using your mobile phones. mobile phone, they are telling us that you can only take minutes. So is
You
it
can only
possible
take, I'm
to
sorry, ma'am.
use?
What did you say last when you're using mobile
Is it?
phone?
Am I audible, ma'am?
Yes, ma'am. I lost connection in the middle.
Yeah, LMS app. Is it mobile friendly, ma'am, or do we have to upload documents using only through laptop?
Yes.
The teaching content which is uploaded, can it be done through mobile, or is it same for mobile and laptop, or only using our laptop?
Ma'am, both can be done. Now, again, it depends on the experience of the company and the expertise of their IT section. Very frankly, I have spoken to them about it. Certain companies said only laptop. Certain companies said they made me try it with my mobile. I'll tell you very frankly my experience. The moment we went into lockdown, the country went into lockdown, my laptop stopped working just suddenly. It was a nightmare, frankly speaking. And that's when we had to start online classes, and it was new to me as well. So I could take demos in, I got an official computer. I got an official laptop from my university to take demos, but I deliberately did not take any classes on that laptop. I used this opportunity to take, detailed chapter like in oral medicine, dental anatomy and oral histology. Oral mucous membrane is one of the important chapters. I was I myself was very apprehensive whether I'll be able to do justice to it. But frankly speaking, when I took a feedback, when I asked questions from the students, they actually gave me a very good feedback. I was patient with it and I did everything on my laptop. I drew the cells on my laptop screen, on my mobile, not my laptop, on my mobile screen. And of course, when you have a laptop, you have a bigger space to work. So that's more convenient. But when you have a mobile, you have a smaller space to work. But I'm telling you, you can adapt to it because for almost 1.5 months, till I got a new laptop. Now I'm working on my new laptop. I just got it a week ago, and the webinar pushed me to buy it because I did not. I was not sure whether I wanted to draw on it and animate and show you this. This pen tablet that I have got. You can have smaller ones as well, but like your question goes, the mobile app, now there's a difference in the mobile. Either you have the mobile responsive version, that means what shows on your that is on your screen on the laptop is converted into a mobile responsive version. Like the tabs, suppose the tabs are on the left side. Can I share my screen, Dr. Matthew? I think I'll be able to answer it on the whiteboard better.
Ma'am, its option is on only, ma'am, to you.
Okay, thank you so much. Thank you so much. Now, for example, if this is my laptop screen, all right, and this is my mobile. I have to practice with my pen tablet. Please pardon my. Now over here, let's say I have the name of my university here. I have the logo here. I have the vertical tabs here, like we have in the website. I have the vertical tabs here. And then we have the content here. We have the photograph and we have the content. Then we have the news release over here. This is what we have in the website. The same thing happens in the LMS. In the mobile, how will this appear? We will have the university name here. We'll have the logo and we'll have the tabs one by one appearing here. Now, when you click on one, the moment you click on one, what happens? Your mobile phone gives you, this is the logo. Your mobile phone gives you a different set of contents. I'll do it with another color. Your mobile phone gives you a different set of contents, which is this content. Now, this content matches with this content. This is called a mobile responsive version. Whereas an app, frankly speaking, I was not very fond of the app because app has its limitations. An app cannot be used on, it has to be integrated along with your mobile, along with your web browser. This is your web browser. This is the mobile responsive version of the web browser itself. App gives you different, a different system. The icons are arranged in a different system. So sometimes you may use it on your laptop, sometimes you may use it on your mobile. So There is you have to master both and you tend to forget. So I would prefer that you choose the mobile responsive version of the web browser. That is easier and you pay less, because for the app you have to get two kinds of apps made: Android app and iOS app. So in case of mobile responsive versions, you don't have to pay for these two apps. So you save out. And uploading, if you want to upload material, madam, it can be very conveniently done on the mobile. I've tried uploading material from the mobile. It can be done. Also, imagine if I put the oral mucous membrane PowerPoint from the laptop, Bluetooth, I shifted it to my mobile. I ran the entire PowerPoint there. And then I uploaded that PowerPoint with that recording of the video class on the cloud from my mobile, because I didn't have a laptop. This was a blessing in disguise. It was a big struggle not having the laptop, but I managed to do it. In fact, then I started taking demos. I returned the laptop my university gave me to them, and I took the demos of the LMS on my mobile and I uploaded it. So, madam, it is possible. It is absolutely possible. I hope I've answered your question, ma'am. You'll have to just choose. You'll just have to choose the right company. Maybe that company doesn't have that option, but yes, there are companies which offer it.
Thank you, ma'am.
Yeah. And another question is again by Dr. Maya Ramesh. In LMS, will they add university and college logo and make it look like a website?
Absolutely. Yes, ma'am. Absolutely.
Dr. Maya, you can unmute.
Yeah, thank you very much, ma'am. I was listening very carefully only. And here I am working with a company called MyCamu. Am I audible, ma'am?
Yes, ma'am. Absolutely. I can hear you, ma'am. Please.
Yeah. And we are making some changes, and I'm in charge of it. And I'm working with them, sitting with them, and seeing how it is going on. So, but they keep on telling that it's fixed. Everything is fixed. So we will try to change it. So they have never accepted, because I asked them whether they can make it look like maybe like Facebook app. Just click and my page will come, and I can decide whether I should go to first year, second year, or third year students. But here it is a little more complicated. For everything we have to enter some 5-6 things, and then only reach my page. For everything, I have to go to VinayakaMission, Sankaracharyar Dental College, again go to first year, again go to which subject, again which year, August batch, September batch, so many things, entry, and then only reach my page. Will it be possible that it will reach my page immediately, and I can decide whether it is August batch, September batch, first year, second year, third year, like that, or it will be like complicated only?
No, ma'am. That is where when we choose our product. Frankly speaking, it's like choosing an automated car or a manual car. You know,
yes,
you want the touch button, or do you want to start it with the key? You want automatic gear. If you have automatic gear, I just have to bother about two gears: my forward gear and my reverse gear.
Yes, ma'am.
Now it depends. If you choose a company, that is when. And talking about the LMS having the university logo, yes, ma'am. That's what I told you. Certain companies, which I cannot reveal right now in the webinar, we can have a we can have a talk about it later on the telephone. There are certain companies I noticed, they said, this is the product, you take it, you leave it, and we'll help you out with it. But their logo showed, their name showed, so their product showed. What certain companies do is they white label it. In fact, when they gave me the demo, they said, please give us one day, send us your logo, we'll white label it for you just as a sample. And the demo page itself had my university name, my institution name. And when I clicked at the university, I was taken on the university main page. Now, I, as a user, was given certain rights. My vice chancellor was given certain rights. I was not
Is
given
this
all
like
the rights.
open LMS, ma'am? Is this what you call it as open LMS, that whatever we ask, they will give?
Yes, ma'am. See, there are certain companies who are ready to customize it for you, as I mentioned, and they'll do white labeling. So their name will not appear. You have bought it from them. You have bought it from them from 1 year for 1 year or 3 years, and then you renew the contract. The entire page and the entire look of it will be the color that you want, your university logo, whether you want the university logo in the main page, you have the big logo. Then on the continuing pages, you have a small logo over there with your university name and the city and the institution. It can be done, ma'am. It's called white labeling. And that is
Okay, ma'am.
possible. They are doing it, ma'am. So when you take the LMS, actually, all these things, should be evaluated before. Frankly speaking, I was told when I was taking the demos, like you're taking care of it. I was told to take demos from a few companies. Some people suggested take it from 2-3 people, 2-3 companies. I took it from 2-3 companies. Every time I got new data. So what I did is I built up an Excel sheet.
Yes, ma'am.
Excel sheet. I started with just 5 questions, frankly, just 5 questions, madam. And as I kept taking demos, I started feeling more educated and I started adding my questions. I put my questions like this, and I ended up actually developing over 1.5 months 73 questions, which I did not feel I would be able to develop. So I developed these questions and I kept going back to the company. Like I was on the 10th company, I got some more information from them. They themselves told me, Madam, we can do this also. So I added that as a question, and in their column, I added yes. Then I went back to the previous companies, 9 companies, asked them on telephone, asked them this question. Some said yes, some said no. I said, show me the proof. They gave me the demo of it in 10 minutes. So that's how I prepared a chart, and I got to know which company is giving us what and where exactly are we getting, at what cost we are getting it. So customization and white labeling, as I mentioned, is possible, ma'am. But whether your company gives it or not, you'll have to
Yeah,
evaluate and ask them that.
I'm just talking to one company, ma'am, and they are not ready for that kind of changes.
Ma'am, then at the same cost, you can probably speak to other companies. I can make some suggestions to you after this thing.
You can
And
mail the details to Dr. Matthew, ma'am. I'm in touch with him only. I'm also from the Department of Oral Pathology only.
absolutely, ma'am.
No,
Absolutely.
no. Let me interrupt
Yes,
here.
Yes,
Dr.
sir.
Hemani, it was a good idea what you gave. And
Yes,
I'm
sir.
sure that Dr. Maya, you can
Yes,
be in
sir.
touch with her directly.
Okay,
Rather
sir.
than again going through Matthew and then getting back. So what
Okay,
you
sir.
do is, I think whatever problems what you ask, I think it looks like it is solvable. Dr. Hemani is saying that it is possible. But
Yes,
we
sir.
are not given a choice of choosing here because university is the one which has fixed this company. But whatever said and done, now we have already signed the contract we are doing, but try to customize it and get some ideas before talking to them from Dr. Hemani so that you can also question them and tune them so that they must understand that we are also got some background. And then I think you can go forward, you can come overcome all these hurdles. Dr. Hemani, I think we'll be disturbing you regarding this. So please, I am asking you in advance your permission by
No,
Dr.
please,
Maya and so on. Okay?
whatever I can be of assistance of, I will be very glad to.
Yeah.
And in
Yeah.
fact, I can suggest the companies to madam, and then she can take a demo of them, at her convenience.
Yeah.
They are very cooperative because, see, they want to sell the products. So they're very cooperative. At her free time, they can give the demos on the mobile or the laptop. Taking a demo on the laptop always helps because you get a wider view of it. And
Yes, ma'am.
what I was doing is, in the middle of the session, I tried one thing. I said, now give me a second, I'll log in from my mobile because I wanted to see how it looks on the mobile also, whether my students will find it convenient. And I can suggest certain, once if your contract is renewable, you can take the demos from them, have a trial session with certain companies that you like, and then if you want, you can shift it over. If
So
your
the data
company
problem
prefers.
only there. The data is the one, as you said, I don't think we
Data will
will
not,
have.
data problem. You need to speak with your present company.
Okay.
That's why before finalizing the company, what my
Yeah.
university did is, they told me, they never gave me the liberty to decide. They said, you take demos, you present it to us, and then we formed a committee, and I gave them the Excel sheet with all the proposals. And right now we're in a process of going through those proposals and going through that data to finalize the company. But I've taken these mock drills already from all these things. It was an exhaustive procedure, but it was
And
really worth it, sir.
Thank you. Thank you. I think we'll be calling you soon as a consultant for Vinayaka Missions. Okay. Yeah. I think there are no other questions, no further questions.
Matthew, I think you had a bigger doubt to clarify with Dr. Hemani whether NAC work can be done automatically through this LMS system. I understood.
Yeah,
What Dr. Hemani responded is, here and there you can do some adjustments, but whatever, you have to sit and do the job because that's a challenge for you. I don't think Hemani can help you anyway in overcoming these responsibilities. So you can ask her if you can get some shortcuts to overcome these problems.
I think Vinayaka Missions will pay me an additional increment. Okay, Dr. Hemani, I really thank you for spending this wonderful time. The Q&A session is crossing more than your actual presentation. And I think this is my first oral pathologist webinar I'm attending where I never heard the word neoplasia or dysplasia. And for this, I would like to, first of all, I would like to thank principal, vice principals, Dr. M. Mohan sir, and other vice principals who were able to attend today, all the faculty of VMSDC for spending their time on this Saturday, on this Sunday with us.
Sunday.
Sorry, I correct myself. Yeah, on Sunday. And I also would especially like to thank Dr. Rajati because she was an integral part in, I would say, in coordinating this meeting, in organizing in every part of this session, particularly the feedback. Yeah, and what I can say is the take-home take-home message for this is that we are becoming obsolete and outdated. I think it's time to adopt and adapt to this new system of education. It's high time, yeah. And with this, I think we would like to present the C certificate to you, madam. Again, we thank you on behalf of VinayakaMission Sankaracharyar Dental College for being consenting and being part of our presentation and for this wonderful presentation. Yeah. Next, thank you, Dr. Hemani. Any few last words?
It was a pleasure. Thank you so much for making me comfortable. I mean, it's Dr. Rajati, Dr. Matthew, John sir, Mohan sir, and all the participants, the people who gave the participants, the faculty who put forward the questions. And frankly speaking, one of my teachers always said, when I passed out school, my chemistry teacher said, "Hemani, don't stop asking questions." And that's what took me from being, I mean, I am an oral pathologist. I have nothing to do with LMS. When I was appointed as, I have to do the groundwork, I started with one company. And after the third company, a lot of people in my university said, this is good, just take it. But somehow I felt there's more to it. So I went on and on for 1.5 months. And after 14 demos, it really worked. It really worked. It was worth the homework. And of course, one thing, it happened in Salem itself. One of the conferences, I gave a presentation in your institution. I think it was a forensic conference. My presentation was 8 minutes, as designated. The question hour session went on for a long time, and frankly speaking, that is what got me the award. It was more than the presentation, rather the question hours, which question and answer session, where the frankness and transparency of the data that actually surprised people, and it got me an award. And I guess I'm very happy that we had an interaction. I would be a little disappointed if we would not have questions. I would think that, I've not done justice because I wanted to keep it simple. If I would go into too much technicality, it would, raise the anxiety levels. And my purpose was to bring it down to human levels, that it is possible. And frankly speaking, the first time I bought my laptop was when I was 31 years old. I was very scared. Dr. Matthew knows I was very scared of the laptop. Every time a window popped out, I felt a ghost had come out. But now I'm so comfortable with it that practice, a lot of people come and ask me what to do when they have a problem with their files. And that's a pleasure. And that's just because of practice. And my students have taught me a lot. I'm telling you, very frankly, I had certain doubts in even this, webinars, Zoom sessions to make it comfortable with my pen tablet. I had a Zoom session with my students yesterday, and they actually came up with ideas. Ma'am, do this. Ma'am, do this. Ma'am, press this button. And if you have a few students with you in your team for the feedback, who are responsive, I think it works. It works. So thank you so much.
By the way, which year were you in Babuji?
Sir, I was in the 1993 batch, sir. I joined VDS in 1993.
Just left. Okay. I'm also from Babuji.
Okay.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. Fine. Nice to hear from you all.
Thank
you so much.
Thank you,
Dr. Hemani. A few points with regard to feedback.
Yes.
What do you say? One more. Yeah, with regard to feedback, the feedbacks are limited to one response. And so we kindly request you to avoid any spelling mistakes in your name, as the entry of any wrong register number can, we won't be able to give you another certificate. So we'll be issuing only one certificate. Yeah, thank you. And also I would like to thank the participants from Dr. Hemani, Dr. Sangeeta Vanjari, Dr. Anuradha Sunil Madam, Dr. Richa Singh, Dr. Monica Mehta, and Dr. Samriddhi Sanul for attending today's participation. We'll be sending the certificates soon. Thank you all for attending today. Shall we close, sir?
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you, madam.
And the link is in the chat box. Everyone can.
Yeah. The feedback link is there in the chat box. Please.
And
Thank
I
you.
think before we end this session, the pandemic actually has taught us not to join hands this with a handshake. Let's wind it up with this.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.